I do this website? Did I do the SEO optimization? Did I send it off for proof to the client? What do I need to do next? What am I missing? Where is the tag? Even just us, with our brain power, having those processes written out and starting. If you're starting out as a solopreneur, take a pen and paper, start writing it out, and then move it into digital. That is the biggest issue.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. It's another week, another episode of Leaders Talk, and joining you again, as always, is myself, Andrew Dupe, Chief Relationship Officer, and I am really excited today to have Yvonne Heimann. She is someone that helps digital entrepreneurs dramatically increase profits, reclaim lost time by teaching them how to implement proven processes and systems and automation. She is the CEO of Ask Yvi. And welcome, Yvonne. It's a real pleasure to have you here today. How are you?
Thanks so much for having me. I am doing good. I got my first coffee down. I've started the day already productive. What else can I ask for?
I love the energy in the room. I should have made you one of my 9 a.m.s. You would have gotten me woken up in the morning.
No. 9 a.m. does not work for me. There is a reason why my day just starts at 10 a.m. because before that, you do not want to deal with me before 10 a.m.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our first piece of advice for the day. So, Yvonne, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh my God, how many hours do we have? No.
We got about a half hour, so the truncated version.
Mm-hmm. The truncated version is I'm a crazy German now living in San Diego that sees systems literally everywhere. Mm-hmm. That was kind of like my realization of where business got where it is now, because I walk my dog in the morning in my complex right here, and I'm like, why are you doing this? You are wasting resources, and you are wasting money, and you are wasting people's time by doing it this way rather than doing it that way. So yeah, even in my private time, I see systems and repeatable processes everywhere. I'm one of those crazy people.
So you're like the dad in Cheaper by the Dozen that's counting the number of buttons and wouldn't it be more efficient if we had 6 instead of 7?
Yeah, it can end up literally that crazy where I have to reel myself back in, where it's like, Evie, you need to find a balance between efficiency and the time you spend on making something efficient. So I can get lost in tools research. I can get lost in automations and all kinds of stuff. That's just how I am. That's just what I love doing. And it was an interesting internal growth for me, because it took me so long to realize that people don't see the world like I do.
Yeah.
I was always like, yeah, but this makes sense. And others were like, but how? So it was really interesting looking back now, seeing my own growth in this, realizing that, again, literally I see systems everywhere. Other people see chaos. I'm like, yeah, but you can put this in a box here, especially with entrepreneurs a lot. Yeah. This is going to sound so bad. We think we are special. And in the end, yes, we are. We have our own take. We have our own frameworks. We have our own way of doing things. But in the end, behind the scenes, a lot of those processes, a lot of the things we do, a lot of what we deliver is the same thing. We just put our sprinkle on top. We put our fancy on top.
Yeah.
But when I look behind the scenes of how all of this happened, how we deliver, how we do, it's the same thing. So yeah, it's been an interesting growth period for myself to get to this point.
That's such an interesting point where we're talking about. It's like the mindset, as somebody that helps potential authors, we run into that all the time. It's like there's a little bit of imposter syndrome where they say to themselves, oh my gosh, I'm just like everybody else, and why would I have a book that stands out? But then it's also the personality that is themselves that is what they have to do as a brand. And they need to realize there's a separation between the two. There is what's you and that's unique that everybody wants to hear. But then it's also the processes that, everybody else are going to have and how you're making it unique. So
And
how
it's
do you
like,
help people realize that?
I'm struggling with that specific issue myself. I'm like, I am self-publishing a book right now about how to use ClickUp. It's all out there. There is nothing new about it. It's a tool, and you either way use it or you don't use it. But what I had to overcome with the imposter syndrome on that, I am the only one who has this specific take on it. I am the only one who had specific features where I'm like, why are you people using it like that? In the long haul, you're going to hurt yourself. So just like with the book, realizing that I have my own take on this and I have my own language on this and I have the no BS approach with my clients, that is what makes me different. That's what speaks to people, not the specific how to, but how I approach it, how I explain it, how I help people wrap their head around it. And that's pretty much the same thing that I do with my clients, where when you look at a business and at the point, even if you are just bringing it on a couple assistants, if you just bring in a couple VAs, virtual assistant or something like that, or you run a big business with multiple team members, there is so many things of inefficiency happen. And a lot of people think it's a tool issue. Most of my clients come to me and are like, I need ClickUp. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, my tool of choice. I love it. It's usually the solution. But why? What is your problem right now? You don't need to switch tools just because somebody said ClickUp is better. If another tool works for you, keep using it. The right tool is the one you actually use. So I start guiding my clients through this process of what is actually the issue. What are you struggling with? And 95% of the time, the tool is not the solution. You are struggling with your processes. You are struggling with your communication. Efficiency always comes back down actually to the human aspect. Now, is that the human aspect in you are not communicating clearly with them, which is entirely possible because CEOs are usually big picture thinker. They are running at 10,000 miles an hour. They have all the things going on that often doesn't trickle down to the team, and the team doesn't know what your vision actually is. So they are running in the wrong direction, or they don't have the resources. They're a new team member and it's like, okay, how am I actually doing my job? So they are, I don't want to say wasting your time, but they're wasting your time because you don't give them the resources to work right. So business efficiency, again, is not just all repeatable processes and tools. It's figuring out how to clearly communicate, how to give them the resources they need, and how we can get this whole admin stuff that's happening of you need to do this and you need to do that into a streamlined position. And that's where I work with my clients. Is that project management? Yes. Is that task management? Yes. Is that team training? Yes. It is all of those things to really look at where's the bottleneck and where can we make this run way smoother by clearing up communication, by automating task assignment, by not having to do data entry all day because we have it in this tool and we need it in that tool and then it needs to be there. So yeah, the question of what do you actually do is quite a loaded one because usually it comes down to coaching the team and the CEO.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's just it. We have to look at our systems. And by the way, ClickUp is a great one. We use it too. So this is a good ad for ClickUp. Hopefully they'll be our sponsors for this episode. But yeah, I mean, there's so many ways in which you can look, and when you're looking from a big picture, you're right. You kind of lose the image from up top. How important is it to make sure that you have the right people in the right places? Not just the right people, but the right people in the right places helping you.
It's your make or break. Because when you have people in a position that they are not fully happy with, it's not even just about the delivery. It's not even just about how great they are at their job. If you have somebody that is passionate about what they do, no matter how good or bad they are at it, they will put in the work to become better and better and better every single day. That passion, that value alignment is more important than skills. Skills can be taught. Skills can be taught. I can teach anybody everything.
Right.
Should they have a specific base knowledge so we are not spending the next 5 years teaching them something? Yes, don't get me wrong. But having somebody in a position where first of all, they love what they do. Second of all, their personal values and goals are aligned with the company value and goals.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is in it for themselves. Yes, we all want to help other people. Yes, we do want to help nonprofits and raise things and everything. But in our everyday, if our own goals and values are not met,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna go somewhere else. We're gonna not deliver what we want. It's gonna be the feeling of it's the standard 9 to 5. I'm just going in to get my hours taken care of. Now, if you can get and tap into your team's goals, what are they personally want to accomplish? Why are they here? What gets them excited? What gets them motivated? What are their values? If you can align your company goals and what you want to accomplish with each and every team member, you're golden. You're done.
Yeah. Because
they're going to work for your company just as if they would for themselves.
Yeah. I think that, we lack a little bit of that vision in American business. I mean, we kind of come from a lot of us still come from the idea of, first prize is a Cadillac Eldorado, second prize is a steak knife, third prize is you're fired. and we have a situation where we sometimes have the right people, but they're not in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't give them the chance to find the right niche. Do you find that's something that happens a lot in American business, especially?
I actually am seeing that changing.
Good.
Especially with a smack over the head big corporations have gotten throughout COVID. It's a value alignment that has been happening over the last couple of years where I do see more and more companies, Fortune 500, it might take a little bit longer for them to wake up, but I do see StreamYard, for example, is one of those companies where I know personally, because I have friends in the company, that they are aligning with your personal values when you're working for them, where it's like your kid has a show coming up, they have something coming up, take the damn day off. They are not about being there and getting the work done now. They are working in balance with realizing the team has a personal life. They are not just there to be your slave, and they are working accordingly. They are working around vacation schedules. They are working around your kids' schedule, and they are looking at big initiatives and big goals over the next month or two. What needs to get done? It doesn't have to get done now. It can get done tomorrow, as long as we meet our KPIs, as long as we meet our goals. They are flexible. So employees, they have more of the freedom of building and doing based on their personal life than their business schedule. So I am seeing that change happening, but we all know change doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, I know it's never overnight, and usually technology pushes it in some way or another. How do you see technology right now as a benefit or a detriment to efficiency? Because I can see it being both ways.
Technology in itself, to me, is an advantage for efficiency. Okay. Where the problem comes in is the human.
Right.
This could have been an email. Why have I been on an hour-long damn Zoom call right now? So I believe us as humans are the ones that make the decision, is technology used as an advantage or as a disadvantage? So it's coming back down to, again, bringing it back to the human aspect of everything, where am I writing this 10,000 word email right now because I want to get something done or because I want to get heard? is this conversation just for me to show off my ego of all the things we've gotten done, or is it to actually move us forward?
Right.
So that's where the decision makers need to self-reflect. And I took it in the bad way right now, where it's literally just like, okay, what is the goal here? What do we actually need to do? Where the decision makers literally just need to step back and be like, what is the goal here? Why are we doing this? And does this make sense? Because often enough, we are just reactive. We are just,
right.
Oh, I need to fix this. Let's jump on a Zoom call. You could have just asked me. On the other hand, I do work. For example, we had a case here. I help a nonprofit locally here, our San Diego 99ers, to get them leveled up, to get them more efficient, because they were a little bit all over the place with everything, especially technology. Now, I made the mistake of being stuck in an email where I should have just scheduled a Zoom call, walk the ladies through how this new system works, and I would have saved myself hours. Yet I got stuck myself in this email thing of explaining things.
Right.
So it's just, it needs to become a conscious effort on a regular schedule to go back and, okay, how did we do this? How did we run this process? Does this make sense? Do we need to polish it? And that's, again, comes back to the human.
Well, that comes from an idea too. And I hear a lot of this when the book creation process comes in. A lot of people get lost in the how. You know, they become very confused or lost, and I have to do this X, Y, Z, all of this stuff, and they concentrate at the beginning on how am I going to do it, how am I going to do it, when they're not thinking about why they need something. So? I mean, talk a little bit about the idea of planning and being able to plan with a goal in mind rather than being caught up in getting lost in process.
I love the example of the book, because that's literally what I went through.
Yep.
When you are starting something, let's start in the beginning. When you are starting something, doing is more important than planning. Yes, figure out why you'd want to do it and figure out what is that end goal. When do you know you're done? And then just do. Because you can't plan something you haven't done before. Now, for me, in my case, when I was writing the book, and should have found another publisher because my publisher canceled me and now I'm self-publishing. Having said that, I should have
called us. Hey, we're still here.
They actually called me. So that was the difference, because I was sitting on let's use that as an example. I was sitting on a book. There was something I wanted to do. I know why I want to do it. I know what the goal is. I know where I'm going. I have no idea how to write a book. I don't know. It's like, I know about the formatting and stuff, and I have a rough idea of what needs to be done. But how do you actually write a good book? So I've been sitting on this thing for the last 3 years, pretty much, till a publishing house messaged me and came to me and was like, hey, let's do this. And they gave me the plan. Now, we don't always have the advantage of that. And I'm the perfect example of what not to do. Don't just sit on it for 3 years. Just because I am an over planner, but I got stuck in, I have to know all the things. I have to know exactly how to do this. No, we don't. We don't.
Yeah.
Just do it. You're gonna, just as we learn how to brush our teeth right, how we drive right, or how we walk. We do something, we might Google it the moment we're old enough to actually Google how to do something, figure it out when we run into an issue. We go further, we again research, ask questions, do it over, whatever it is. And that's how we figure it out. But don't just sit on it. Again, if you haven't done it before, you can't lay out the plan. Just go one step at a time. Writing a book, just start writing. Sit on your patio, block out an hour and just write. Just put it down.
It also helps to be able to ask for help too. Yeah. I mean, that's why you and I are in business. I mean, being able to have someone that you can go to. And I think that's something that a lot of CEOs, entrepreneurs that are in business, you know, they control their businesses very well. They kind of don't want to let the baby leave the crib in some ways. But asking for help is really important, even if you're at the very top.
And it's like, that's why resources are out there.
Right.
And should I have just reached out to you guys and be like, do it? Yeah. The only thing, again, for me, there's the human aspect again. I was stuck in it. I'm like, this is not a moneymaker. This is a marketing piece for me, where it's like, it wasn't high on my list. If it would have been high on my list, I wouldn't have sat on it for 3 freaking years, right?
Right.
Which comes back around to, okay, set your goals, set your intentions with it. Why are you doing it? Are you ready to put in the time and the effort? Because no matter what we do, it's going to take your time. It's going to take your effort. Or are you ready to put in the money to spend less effort on it? It's always finding that balance between doing it yourself, which is going to take most of your time because you need to figure it out. You need to actually do it. You need to polish it up. Or you go on the other side of pay somebody big money to do it all for you, or you find the in-between with the done with you, where you spend some time, they spend some time. And it's like, okay, again, figuring it out. What's the value? What's the goal? What's your core beliefs in all of this? And based on that, how do we get it done?
Yeah, it's all about learning and finding the most efficient path, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is all a personal choice.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm never writing a book by myself again. But I'm gonna double read a contract the next time.
Well, the good news is that nobody has to write a book by themselves while Leaders Press is here coming to the rescue.
Yep.
Plug for ourselves there. So I have a question. I think this is an interesting one I've been thinking about. Probably you'll likely hate me for it. What is the biggest bottleneck issue that you see that comes up just regularly? Is there just something that you are seeing all the time, regularly, that is holding businesses back, something that they could fix right away that they're listening to us right now? The magic bullet, the golden nugget.
The golden nugget?
Yeah.
The golden nugget is usually C-level and manager. When most of my clients come to me, why this is so predominant. Most of my clients come to me when they're in scaling phase. Yeah. They are in a situation where it's like, oh my God, Yvi, I can't handle all the clients that are coming in the door. We don't know. I need to double my team. I don't know how to manage them. That's kind of like that overwhelm, that holy moly, how the hell am I going to do all of this? That's the situation when most of my clients come to me. I wish they would come like 6 months earlier, but it just is what it is. And every single time they come to me, I discover the same kind of story behind the scenes. They haven't done well with recording their processes, because most entrepreneurs that I work with, they're coming out of a passion. They want to solve a problem. They run into it. They're reactive. They're getting the things done. They're getting the things done well. They're getting more and more clients in. They're doing the things well. They're getting more clients. It's all in here. Yeah. It's all in their head. And we don't have the processes down. A process doesn't have to be perfect. But the problem is when starting with the CEO or manager level, it can apply to them too. That means if I'm training somebody, I'm training them from what's in my head. Which means chances are something is going to get lost, no matter if that is a communication, they didn't listen right, whatever it is, there is stuff going to get lost in that transfer of information. Then they are running with it, they're running the process, they're coming back for you to prove it. You find the issues that are in it, you are fixing it and potentially even doing it over, which means now you spend 3 times the amount of time that the task usually would have taken if you would just record your processes. And that issue already starts even just with solopreneurs. Back in the day, I used to do web design. Did I do this website? Did I do the SEO optimization? Did I send it off for proof to the client? What do I need to do next? What am I missing? Where is the tag? Even just us, with our brain power, having those processes written out and starting. If you're starting out as a solopreneur, take a pen and paper, start writing it out, and then move it into digital. That is the biggest issue. And that transfer of information. Now, the secondary issue to that becomes when they're in scaling phase, most of my clients are passionate about what they do. They build their baby. You need to let it walk. It's a teenager now. You need to step back. 99% of the time, it is more coaching the CEO to step away and trust their team to do right than actually implementing the process, because I'm working with the team to implement the processes. You're running the process, you're taking that over, perfect. While you're doing it, start writing the SOP. Literally just a Google document, write out the steps, we are polishing it up later. But the CEO having to step back and trust their team to do it right, which you know, and which is totally fine, they will not do just like the CEO did. I don't want to say right, because everybody is going to do something just a little bit different. They're going to sound a little bit different. They might miss that one single step. And you need to be okay with that, because it's progress over perfection. It doesn't have to be perfect. How many entrepreneurs are out there that don't even have a website, yet they're making millions of dollars? It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to make progress. And to make progress, you got to step away. You got to trust that you taught your baby right, and now at teenage age, they can walk by themselves. And that's a difficult one.
I love it. I love it, because there is sometimes just such an issue that really just doing it is what you need to do. I guess Phil Knight had a great logo when he kind of Nike is like, just do it.
Yep.
Because the earlier you attack the problem, if you attack the problem before there's a problem, there's no problem, right?
Yeah. And I think it comes back. I'm seeing a thread through our episode today. It comes back to, again, the human aspect. There is limiting beliefs. What if this doesn't work right? What if it does? And I'm like, I'm guilty of this myself. I am changing my sales approach right now. I am changing how content is going, and I am fighting it right now, which is literally just an internal limiting belief for whatever reason, working on it. And that's where it comes in. What I do, I don't know if you've heard about the 5-second rule, Mel Robbins.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, heard it.
I am a person, I overthink everything. This is why I do processes, because my brain can work so granular and bite my teeth so much into things. It also is a downside. So for me, this whole idea of the 5-second rule has just changed how I do things, where I'm like, should I do this? How should I do this? What? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do. Just take the next 5 minutes and just do something about it, and then build up on it. Well, there you go. I think that's fantastic advice. I should probably follow that advice myself in my daily processes. So if anybody wants to learn a little more, I'm sure that we've got a lot of really good information today, but there's definitely the tip of the iceberg. How can they ask Yvi for help? They just askyvi.com, pretty much. All of the links are there. We have a really engaged blog, a lot of YouTube content, a lot of things going on, as well as a Facebook group. Again, everything is linked on the website, askyvi.com. Just find the social media buttons on top, and I track everything. So if you want to pop in the DMs, I'm always there to reply. Perfect. And those links should be down below, ladies and gentlemen. Go and check them out. Yvi, it was really a pleasure to have you here today. We could talk for hours, but I think that information, though, that you gave has enormous value to our listeners. Thank you so much for having me.